You're listening to the Wilson King Podcast. Run that track.
This episode of the Wilson King Podcast is brought to you by Wright Live. Need a wedding DJ? Play in a band and looking for gigs or networking? Have a venue that needs an exciting event night? Contact Wright Live for all your wedding, entertainment, band, and DJ needs. We are dedicated to providing the best entertainment, marketing, and production for all your special events. Go to our website at www.wrightliveevents.com, wrightliveevents@gmail.com, or visit us on Facebook at Wright Live.
What's up, everybody? This episode's brought to you by Josh's Man Cave at Total Image Salon. If you're new to the area or just looking for a new barber, go see my friend Josh. He's a wizard with a straight razor and knows his way around a set of clippers and gives a damn good haircut. I should know. I go see him twice a month. If you're of age, he offers you a shot of whiskey or a nice cold brew while he cuts your hair. If you go down and see him, let him know I sent you. What the fuck is up, everybody? We got two really dope fucking dudes in the studio. Fucking love these guys. Fucking the one guy, every fucking song he's ever fucking sent me that he's ever done just blows me the fuck away. And then the other guy, you don't even think fucking screams the way he does, and then there you are getting your fucking face melted. We got Anthony Tardino and Dave Pezzanite of fucking Koluna.
What is up?
David of Koluna, Anthony of Anthony.
Yeah.
Lead Anthony Tardino of Anthony Tardino.
Dude, so how is everybody? How was your fantastic drive through the backwoods of West Virginia?
It was peaceful, man. I mean, I had some death metal cranking on the way, but it's a nice little drive.
Yeah, nice drive is one way to put it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you live in this place, man. I need to be in like walking distance of a grocery store or something.
Dude, I love it because I can do whatever the fuck I want out here. I want to shoot a deer off my front porch, I shoot a deer off my front porch. If I want to go piss on the side of the house, I go piss on the side of the house, you know? It's a great fucking time out here.
Yeah.
Can't blame me for that.
No, but the reason to have you guys in this beautiful, awesome studio is because you have a new song coming out featuring David.
Yes, I
And
do.
it fucking rips.
I am pretty excited about this song, and I guess by the time this comes out,
It'll
it'll already be out. Awesome. Yeah, this song is absolutely belligerent, and I'm really glad that David agreed to do it and offer his vocal talents because, I mean, he just shreds. It's so mean and evil.
I'm glad he had me on there to do it, honestly, because, I mean, it gives me a chance to, like, explore and just try new things with, you know, all kinds of different screaming. I like to practice with lows and highs now, and I get to just throw a lot of that in Anthony, and he rips it up, man. His recordings are just unreal.
Dude, what's unreal is the fact that, and I say this about every fucking band I've seen that has a killer fucking screamer, is you can never pick out who in that band is the screamer. Because 9 times out of 10, you pick wrong. Because the people that fucking kill it are the ones that you would look at and be like, he plays drums, or he's a guitarist. Mm-hmm. And then you have them pop up on stage and then they melt your fucking face off. Like, every fucking track I've ever listened that you've been on melts my fucking face off. Every fucking track you've ever put out that I've listened to, I'm just like, dude, why is this area so fucking talented, and I love it.
It is, man. You never expect, like you said, the people, like I said with him, I never expected him to scream the way he does.
I didn't even know he fucking screams.
He does, man. He's a screamer.
There is an upcoming song that I'm doing all the vocals on, and I'm a little bit more like one note, but I mean I feel that I'm decent at that one note. So it's like a really kind of guttural, angry stuff. I don't really know how to describe it. Maybe you can come up with better adjectives than I can.
I don't know. It just really overall blows my mind because I hear you talk and then you get on it. It's like a low to mid scream, but it's so loud. Like you can project and perfect that one scream. Just like it's amazing, dude.
Well, dude, I remember growing up, right? I was always that kid that was like, I don't like screaming in music. Screaming at, clean was all I was into.
Right.
And then I hit high school and found a Skylit Drive. And I'm just like, fucking melt my face some more. Please melt my fucking face. Like, I don't give a shit if, like here recently, right? I was never a huge fan of just straight through, just scream the whole song.
Right.
And then I found Lorna Shore. And then I found Koluna. Because that's like right around the time y'all started dropping music. And I'm just like, please keep melting me. Please. Like, I love it.
Yeah. I don't know. I was more into the back and forth of screaming and clean vocals when I was younger, but these days I like more hardcore, just angry in your face shit. Like I grew up listening to Kill Switch Engage and All That Remains, but now I just like just heavier stuff. I don't know why. It just gets heavier.
Well, I think that's one reason you and I work really well together is that we can our musical tastes are actually very similar.
Yeah.
The first writing session we had for this song for the vocals, Chris from Koluna was there, and we were all standing outside afterwards and just like shooting the shit about music and talking about bands and stuff. And David and I are like, yeah, dude, like fucking Blind Guardian and like all this really weird like Protest the Hero. That's my shit, man. And Chris is just like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it is crazy, like the different style, because I don't know anyone else in the world who likes Blind Guardian other than you and I.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
True.
And like Chris has a whole different style of music. You know, he's huge into Gojira and Meshuggah and all that. But yeah, I don't think he really gets too much into the wild, off the wall stuff like Protest the Hero. But I don't know. Chris is a cool dude, though.
Yeah,
Chris is really on point with the band.
I love Chris. I said really nice things about him last time, and I'll say them again here. He's been nothing but help since I've kind of introduced myself into this, this scene and this group, and I really appreciate him for that.
Yeah, the whole band is they're all good guys.
Yeah.
Well, you were in the scene for a hot minute, right? And then you backed away from it for a little bit, correct?
Well, I mean, like, I was in a band called Ascension about a decade ago, and that band, we were pretty much gigging every weekend, and it ended abruptly. Actually, the reason this song is called Bandkiller, to let you in on some of that insider information, is that was one of first of many bands I've tried to introduce this song to, these guitar riffs, and be like, yeah, guys, I really want to play this. And like the band just, something happens shortly after that, and then it just dies. And I mean, that's happened like 3 or 4 times with this song. I finally like work up the courage, like I really want to play this song, and then it just like the band just falls apart. And that was the first of many with this song. So I am ecstatic that it can finally be heard by other people other than me.
That is
Go ahead.
That's a great story behind the song. It's that, see, because like whenever I first saw Bandkiller, I'm like, what the fuck is this called, Bandkiller? And then like I started listening to it, and I'm like, okay, this is a fucking killer riff. It fucking melts you, dude. I still can't get over, like, even Athena. Like, I remember whenever you first sent me Athena, and it started off, and I completely forgot. You're like, yeah, I play metal. And it starts off with that, like, RPG journey music.
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh, dude, what the fuck did I get myself into? And then the music stops, and I'm just like, oh, fuck, here we go.
Yeah.
Dude, a minute ago when you guys were talking about, like, the people who dress like X, like, you can never really tell who's gonna do what in the band. It reminded me of that meme with Peter Parker, and it's like, if the guitar player looks like this, you're about to die in that pit.
Yeah.
But you saying that too with the orchestral music, I mean, I'm sure that's like kind of the same thing. Like, you just like, when a song starts like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really know what I was getting into when he showed me the instrumental for Bandkiller. And he's like, I need some input and just do what you can on this. And I don't. It's a lot different than Koluna.
Yeah.
I'll say that. It was just a whole different take on it.
Well, speaking of Koluna,
Mhm.
the first fucking time I ever get to see him, just someone in this room just had to be fucking sick.
I just had to be.
But no, I'm kidding. But dude, Corey Venable killed it. The
Yes.
first 2 songs, he fucking killed it.
Yeah, I just heard from our merch girl Amanda the other day. She said that he filled in for Groundbreaker and Awakening, I think. She said he killed it though. She said he really gave it his all, and I was just like, that's really cool. I haven't even got a chance to talk to him yet, but yeah, that's a first. Of anyone doing that.
I was gonna say next time if you guys need somebody, let me know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anybody out there, I'd appreciate it because I mean, me being sick like that sucked ass, man. I was really wanting to go to that show and just at least try, but it wasn't happening, man. I couldn't even talk.
Yeah.
That's why I hit you up. Like, I meant to hit you up that night, but I got too busy listening to Dinosaurs in Paris,
Yeah.
which fucking killed too.
Nice.
But that's why I hit you up the next day. I was like, bro, hope you get to feeling better. Like, because I knew you were sick because Anthony and I had been talking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like hoping that you would have been okay enough to make it to the show, so I could have like chit chatted with you. And then I showed up, and Chris was like, "Yeah, David's not here." I was like, he's still sick, isn't he?" He's like, "Wait, how do you know?" I'm like, "Because I drink and I know things."
What is that from?
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Fucking great. One of the greatest shows I've
Peter
ever watched in my
Dinklage
life.
says that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that scene.
Yeah. But nah, Corey's a cool guy, man. That's awesome. He filled in for me like that. I don't know a whole lot of people that would actually step in and try to do that. If someone came to me, I would want to, obviously, but it's hard for me to get a grasp on lyrics that I'm not real familiar with and to just go at it like that. They said that he went out into his car and tried to learn Awakening in like an hour and just gave it his all. Like that impressed me, man. It took me a long time to get those lyrics down.
Well, dude, that's one thing I love about the scene around here is like last night with Matt Eubank filled in for Mike Reed last night.
Oh, okay.
And with Finding Dimes.
That's
And then you got Stefan, who is all the time. Like if someone needs a fucking drummer, he's filling in all the time. And you don't see that kind of support a whole lot in any kind of scene. That doesn't matter the music. You don't see the interchange. I don't want to say interchangeable parts because that sounds like really fucked up. But
You don't mean expendable.
yeah,
Right,
yeah. I don't mean it as expendable, but like you see that. Like with you for instance, you were sick, you couldn't perform, and someone else stepped in to help out the band so they could still do their show.
Yeah.
And like Matt Eubank, this is the second time he's done a show for Finding Dimes, which I love how he's calling it Finding Sins now. It's fucking
Finding
great. But I love the support that's around here. I mean, I honestly have always been into music, and I've always known that on the local level you have way too in a lot of scenes you have a lot of competition. You got everyone trying to beat this person or do this or that, or they act nice to your face and then behind your back they're talking big smack about you. But around here you got so many members of other bands coming out to shows all the time. You've got bands filling in if you got band members filling in for other band members if someone can't make it or someone's sick, and it's just a beautiful thing to watch.
Oh yeah, everyone's real supportive. I haven't really met a whole lot of people in the scene that I don't get along with. I just stepped into the scene like 2 years ago, and everyone was pretty nice and welcoming with the whole thing, and I just felt like an outsider. You know what I mean? I've been out of the scene for over a decade and just had nothing to do with it. So to jump in and with like this whole group of everyone that I've met, it's just awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can second that as somebody who's relatively new to, this specific scene and trying to kind of find my way back into it. Everybody has just been like so nice and helpful and, forthcoming with like information about like, hey, you should reach out to this person, or, maybe next time you release a song, you should do this. It's just everybody's willing to kind of pitch in, and I think we're all on the same page that if we succeed as a group, we will all be great together. So that's really cool to see, instead of like more of the back and forth like arguing and stuff like that.
Yeah, the egos and competition.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, dude, that's like one of my missions with even doing the show, bringing guys like you on. It isn't if my show never goes from being bottom tier. I mean, there's a lot of people to listen to it. But like, if I don't ever get to the fucking fame of Joe Rogan, right, I'm not going to be upset because I'm more worried about getting you guys heard. You know, having new people who wouldn't normally know who you are find out about who your music or anyone's music. And it makes it, nothing puts a better feeling in my head than someone hitting me up saying, yo, who the fuck is that band?
Yeah.
Like, it's like I told you, like, I had people from Texas hitting me up whenever you came on about Koluna. I had people hitting me up from Indiana asking about who the fuck you were whenever we did the episode for Athena. And it's just like, well, they all live in the DMV.
That's awesome. Yeah, it means a lot too to have the support and be able, you know, with this song, you don't want to just put it out there and like, all right, my mom listened to it, my fiance listened to it, job done. No, you really want as many people to listen to it as possible. So having the support from people like you and you know, the other people in the community is just, you can't beat that. It's you're not on your own. Especially speaking for myself, you know, I don't have a band to do like a bunch of different stuff. A lot of it is me doing the heavy lifting. So it's nice to have the support from you guys.
Yeah, it is crazy though, because if anyone were the first time just hear your stuff, they're like, who is this band? Like, when I heard it, I was like, Anthony does all of this himself? Like, this is a lot of work. This is impressive as hell. Like, I don't get it, man. I could never do that. It's a lot of skill.
It's taken a lot of time and effort, and it's almost done, thank God.
Yeah.
You want a water, beer, Crown and Coke? Because I see you're almost empty.
Crown and Coke will work.
Crown and Coke, I got you. But, dude, like, whenever we first talked and I listened to that first song, if it wouldn't have been for you telling me, like, this is my project, I would have thought it was a whole band.
Right.
It was you doing guitar, which you fucking shred.
He does.
I am not an instrumental type of person. I cannot play an instrument. I probably could if I sat down and wanted to learn it. But, like, my instrument playing, I played the fucking clarinet in the 5th grade.
Flute.
But, listening to you play, listening to Chris play, fuck, even Mike McCumbee, if you guys know who Mike McCumbee is.
I know of that name.
You remember whenever When Tides Fall was really big?
Yes.
Okay, you remember their guitarist that had the, like, Ocean and Galaxy sleeve? Not Walker, but the other guitarist, like, the other big dude.
I think I'd have to see him to know for sure. But
so Mike McCumbee is one of my really good friends, and he's one of them people that is like a self-taught guitarist, never went to lessons, you know, taught himself. And he doesn't pick up a guitar as much as he probably would like to. But whenever he does, dude, he'll send me like 45 seconds to like a minute riff, and I'm just like, bro, you need to go back. Like, he got out of the music scene because some shit happened and whatever, but I'm like, bro, you need to. Like, some band needs these riffs that you're throwing out there, because everything's just like, while he's sitting down, he's just
right.
And it's some of the greatest stuff ever.
I will say, guitar players, at least in my opinion, it feels like we are a dime a dozen. So it's sometimes it can be kind of hard to find a project that really fits what you're trying to do. Or, I mean, that's what ultimately got me on the path of just like, all right, you know, Thanos meme, fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
But I think that, and I'm stalling here while Billy makes a drink, but I think that there are projects for those people, but, you know, they might be many miles away.
Right.
Yeah, if you're going to find, because as many great musicians in this area there are, a lot of them are already in like full projects, or, you know, they've already got something that they're working on that they're in the middle of that you might not be able to fit another guitar player in for or whatever.
Yeah, but I think, like you said, there's a lot of guitarists out there, but certain ones have a style to it. Like you and Chris, like, it fits well with what everyone else is doing. Like, it's like a puzzle. I feel like it has to fit just right, because sometimes I've seen other bands where I'm like, this band is okay, they're good, but like that guitarist is like fucking amazing. Like he's like outperforming the rest of the band. It kind of sucks when that happens, I guess, but it just fits right. Like what you did with me and Bandkiller, what Chris has done with Koluna. It's just, I don't know, man. And maybe it's a matter of luck of everyone meeting together, but everything fit.
Yeah, I do really appreciate the niche that every band seems to fall in. There's not a lot of bands right now in this area, at least, that I feel like, oh, well, they kind of play the same stuff, everybody has their own like style, and I can appreciate that. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
That is one thing that got me out of local music for a hot minute was I was like going to shows, but then like all the bands were like the same style, and I'm just like, fuck, man, like this sucks. But now it's, man, you got like Future to Claim that does their own thing. You've got Koluna that does their own thing. You got Dead Switch that does their own thing. You got Finding Dimes that does their own thing. You got 12 Sins,
Cursor,
Half Heard, and like yes, these bands play like similar genres. I mean, Dead Switch isn't the same genre as like half the people around here.
Yeah, they're more of a slam metal, I guess. Is what that?
But
it's pretty heavy shit.
But like you got a lot of bands in this area that are like more into like metalcore, but none of them sound alike, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, my it always cracks me up when people are like, all heavy metal sounds the same or something, because it's like, I mean, have you ever heard like the difference between Korn and Metallica? Like, and those are like the most like bread and butter options. That's like before you even like scratch the surface and find some interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, Korn is like where I started with any heavy music in like 5th grade.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting how, metal is just such a huge blanket term for just like stuff that's heavy, and that can literally be like almost anything. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, here I am. I've heard people like talk about like, oh fuck, I'm having a 3 days grace, and they'll be like, yeah, they're metal. I'm like, no, they're not. They're hard rock.
Yeah, they're rock to me.
That's fucking radio rock. Shut up. Yeah. Like get out of here with your nonsense.
I could see the argument. They probably have some songs that I don't know that are like, more metally, but I haven't listened to 3 Days Grace since like 2006. So I don't know.
Yeah. It's been a while for me.
Me too.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm really proud to be a part of this community, and it feels like I definitely have my niche. I mean, there's not really anybody else that I could think that like really comes close to them. We're not really rubbing edges with anybody playing this type of music, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, do you mind if I use your restroom real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I really got to go, man.
You're more than fucking sender. Dude, do you remember where it's at?
Yeah, I think so.
Literally, just go out, bang a right, go down the hallway, first right. Dude, one thing that is awesome about doing this with any band is whenever they come in to promote something new, right? And I mean, it's cool for me because I get a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I get to hear the song before anyone else does, and it makes me feel really good. But
shit,
fucking whore!
What the hell was that?
Nah, that's the surge protector for for the AC and the ice maker and the light, and that double-sided tape doesn't work as well as it's said it's supposed to work.
Maybe a nail.
It honestly, the biggest problem is the walls are painted, so it doesn't stick as well. I need to rough it up a little bit, but it is what it is. But anyways, back to what I was saying. It's just great seeing the music that's coming out. It's awesome. I mean, if you would have came to me a year ago, I don't even think maybe by this time we already had a band on, because we were already starting to work on going to like Freedom Festival and all that. But there for the longest time, we weren't doing anything musically except for maybe bringing on some producers. And that's in the EDM world. Like, now we I'm down to bring on anyone. If you play some fucking jazz, I'm down to bring you on to talk music. Jazz isn't my cup of tea, but I'm down to bring you on. But like, I've been doing a lot of stuff with Pale Garbage Rappers out of Winchester, Virginia. They're really dope fucking dudes. And then bringing whatever local band wants to come on, fucking hit me up.
Yeah, I've listened to a lot of those episodes.
Because I love just to sit down and talk. Granted, I'm kind of like a lot of these episodes with the bands, you see my shyness come out because I just keep it revolved around music instead of doing like diving deep into like personal stuff. But it's also because I'm still getting over my shyness of like talking to someone that I've never met before, you know, or talk to them in passing, you know. It's really hard sometimes to sit down and have a conversation with someone that you've only talked to in passing, like to actually have like an in-depth, like personal conversation. It's kind of hard to do that. I mean, granted, David here, first time he came on the show, fucking, we went balls to the fucking wall talking about everything and everything.
That's true.
I did listen to that, yeah.
It was a good time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Found out Chris was an old basketball player. And
Yeah, that threw me off first time he told me that.
bro, that threw me off whenever he told me that on the show, because I was like, honestly, dude, I pegged you for like a track runner.
A track runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that too. He has like that build for...
By the way, there's your Coke if you want it, because it's Crown Vanilla, so
I got you.
it's the good mixing Crown.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I want to talk about this song more, man. I just...
Fucking sender.
Yeah. This song is just like, you know, maybe I can get into like the creation of it a little bit more, but working on this with you and Chris that first night was a lot of fun, and we really took our time. Like, we had that first writing session, and then we got like probably 80% of the lyrics done like in one night.
Yeah.
And then you came over, and we like the next week, and we did like a rough scratch track with what we had. And then he came over another time, and I think we got like the full thing down.
Yeah.
And then one last time to just like touch up everything and get all the best takes on every part. So it was like 4 or 5 sessions to do everything.
Yeah.
You know? And that was it. And Jeff, to his credit, he's I just want to quick shout out Jeff Neiman. He's the engineer, producer, masterer of all my projects, and he just does an absolutely insane job. I mean, if you have gone on to Spotify or Apple Music by this point and heard this song, I mean, it is just absolutely skull crushing, and most of that is to his credit. Just the drum sound and the way he mixes the guitars and vocals and everything. He just really took this song to the next level and made it as skull crushing as possible. So, I mean, this song just really benefited from us taking our time, and really, I mean, it's such a simple song, but it is, I'm really proud of it. It went from one that I was like, yeah, this song's cool, to like, oh my God, this is so stupid heavy. I love it. So, and I've waited a long time to release this song because I had some medical stuff going on, and I really wanted to find the right time where I could line up everything correctly, get some people behind it like you to really, I want as many people to hear this as possible, because I think it is very special. And I'm sure, like, you know, I could say that about any of my songs. It's like, it's my art, but this song, it does feel like, all right, this is the next level. This is the evolution from what I've been doing. So
Yeah, it's extremely heavy. I mean, as far as, even like you said, the recording, just the production on it, I've heard people come to me and they're like, this sounds like awesome, legit. They're like, this is like Lamb of God type of stuff. And it's just, they have no idea. It was just me and you, like, in a room, like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like going at
my
it.
guest bedroom.
But dude, it was an awesome turnout.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you hitting me up whenever you did to be like kind of the forerunner for helping you release this song. Like, I whenever you hit me up, I'm like, I've been waiting for you to hit me up about dropping this song with David. I've been waiting for it because
I didn't forget.
because I remembered. Because I still remember the last time you and I sat down and talked, you're like, yeah, I've even got a song with David from Koluna. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I think I even showed you like a little clip
Yeah.
After we had talked, and
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, this is it, dude. You know.
And I was just like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I did not forget, and that's why you were one of the first people I reached out to and just having the support, it means a lot because I took a long time off because the medical stuff I had going on, and I did not want to blow this song and nobody hear it. I think it deserves to be heard.
Well, I am glad to see that the medical stuff somewhat got figured out completely. I haven't asked you too much about it because that's your own personal HIPAA business, but I'm
Your HIPAA business.
At least somebody respects it.
but like I'm glad to see that you've gotten to a point now where you can drop this song, which is like you told us before, is a passion project of yours that you've been trying to release for over a decade now. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you're able to do it with a guy as dope as David is fucking awesome.
Yeah, and David and I, we're even recording another song right now we're in the middle of, and that one's going to be pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's a little different than Bandkiller. It's heavy as fuck, obviously, but it's I don't know what to really compare it to. When we were in certain parts of recording, I got vibes of like old school Whitechapel, maybe a little bit mixed with something else. I don't know.
I think like Born of Osiris is a decent. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't like to do the same thing twice.
Right.
I want to write like cool songs, and each song is its own individual. Like this is a creation in its own right. I don't want every song to sound the same, and that's just. Maybe that's why I'm just in the Anthony Tardino project, because I don't want other people to just, commit to like, all right, what the fuck are we even playing, So, I don't know. I just like playing a little bit of everything.
To pick like one style and make like a whole album out of it, you're hitting like every genre of metal on each song, because Bandkiller and this other song that we're talking about are completely different, like extremely like equally heavy, but you wouldn't guess that they were like the same people making the song, if you ask me.
That's one thing that like doing your own like quote unquote solo project, because I mean you are bringing in people to help with some of the songs, but doing something by yourself, once you're in a band, 9 times out of 10, as soon as that band switches genres or switches up what they do, you're going to get hung on the cross.
Right.
I mean, squeeze me.
Damn.
Like I've always been a huge Bring Me the Horizon fan.
Oh, here we go again.
I've always been a huge fine. You know what? Let's go with a different example. Slipknot.
Okay, here we go.
I've been a Slipknot fan since I was in the 4th fucking grade.
Mm-hmm.
Self-titled album, Iowa. And then you start seeing the changes whenever they drop subliminal verses. And then it's just like, now it's like, man, I still love you guys because I've loved you my whole life. But like, man, what the fuck are you doing?
It is different. Yeah.
Which part of me is like upset about it. And another part of me is like, bro, this is like what being an artist is about, is like doing what you want to do with your art. It's like, I can't be mad at you. But at the same time, it's like, fuck, man. Bring back the Iowa album.
Yeah.
Bring that. I mean, granted, the reason the Iowa album was as dark and great as it was is because everyone fucking hated each other at that time, and they were stuck in a house together and was in a really bad place mentally. Don't want them going back to that, but if you could just tap into that for like just one album, tap into that hatred, and just drop the dirtiest thing you've dropped in years, I would be the most satisfied person on earth.
That's the one thing that kind of sucks, but you understand it, like you're saying. It's bands can't ever go back to that point in time in their life. Like there's so many things that factor in and change that. Like I get what you're saying. When the third Slipknot came out, I was like a little bummed, like as a kid. As an adult, I see now that people just grow and change, and the music's going to change. You're never going to sound the same. Like we all want the first Slipknot album and the first Mudvayne LD50 and all that, but like it just won't ever happen again. But I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? It just is what it is for that time, and things change.
Yeah. Now, I love that it's like a perfect snapshot of, and this isn't just for Slipknot's career, but
this is for every band.
Yeah, every band, their albums are a perfect snapshot of like, here's what's going on at that time. Like if you look at Korn's first album. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like a lot of bands like that. You can look back at their roots and follow like a thread from where they began and where they are now. It's really cool.
One interesting band I think is is Disturbed. I'm not huge on them. I don't like anything they've done in the last 10 years or so. I don't hate on them, but just to see the difference between like their Sickness album versus like their latest one, which was like half acoustic, and it was just completely different. But
Are they still?
they're
Yeah.
still,
Music? Oh
they're
my
still-
God.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
But, like-
they're actually playing Blue Ridge Rock Festival
they
this
are.
year.
Hmm.
Bro.
Well, I knew they were playing shows, but I didn't know they still released music.
Yeah.
They still do.
Well, dude, they did oh fuck, what was that one song they did that's really fucking dope? That, like, if you didn't know who Disturbed was, you wouldn't think, like, if you knew who they were and never listened to them again from the Sickness album and listen to this,
Right.
the only reason you know it's them is because the lead singer has such a fucking
Oh yeah.
has such a voice that you just know who he is at all times if
Yeah.
you listen. And what's it like, fucking Shadow of Light or some shit like that?
You know what album that was?
Dude, it literally got released like 2 years ago.
See, I liked their Sickness album as a kid. I was all about that. That was, because the only heavy thing I had known at that time was
Dropping plates on your ass, bitch.
dropping plates.
That's
Probably
the
the
best
dumbest
song on that album.
I was about to say it's the dumbest because of the lyrics, but it's pretty cool though. It's catchy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was into some Corn and even a little Limp Bizkit.
Oh shit, I lied. It dropped in 2015. I'm a fucking
it?
asshole.
Oh my God.
Is that the Immortal?
Yeah, Immortalized.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know much of that album. From what I heard, I wasn't real impressed. Just maybe I'm comparing too much to the old stuff, but
Well, I mean, like, not to bring it back to Bring Me the Horizon or anything, but that's one band that made a dramatic fucking change, though.
oh yeah,
Like-
dude.
Like, they didn't just, they went from, like, you could hear the changes coming, like, with the album that, like, Sleepwalking was on,
Mhm.
but to go from, like,
They were
fucking,
Suicide Silence, like to me at first. With
Yeah.
the vocals, when how heavy they were, but
Yeah.
now they're like Maroon 5 level.
exactly.
I don't.
That's
Okay,
what the fuck
I
mean.
take offense to that.
They're close.
No.
They could be on the same station.
Son of a bitch, they play pop music now.
It's like asking Alexandria. They were heavy as shit, and now they play like poppy radio rock, and it just throws me. I don't know all of Bring Me the Horizon's newer stuff. I've only heard a couple tracks on the radio.
Listen, the first time I heard Ollie Sykes scream in years was whenever he did that song with fucking Lotus Eater.
Oh yeah. Well, they did come out with that song "Die for You" recently, and I think that just came out around the time of the last time we talked, and we talked about Bring Me the Horizon. But
Yeah.
I will state again, I stand behind their newest album. That shit was dope. I love
haven't
that.
heard that.
I
Every
haven't listened to the whole
every
album.
song is just like a little different. I mean, hell, they even got baby metal on one of the songs. That shit's awesome. I love it. But
Now
I know I'm in the minority, and I don't give a fuck. Fuck you.
All right,
I mean,
you
I
like
mean,
what you like.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Their song with Ed Sheeran is fucking fire. I don't
Oh,
care what
really?
anyone
God.
says.
I have not listened to that.
Ed Sheeran.
Bro, it is fucking good.
My fiance has a hardcore vendetta against Ed Sheeran, and I don't know what it is, but she's just like, she hates him, so I'm just like, I don't care to listen to it anyway. So
She probably was supposed to meet Ed Sheeran one day, and he slighted her. No, I'm kidding.
no,
Dude,
I don't think it even got that far.
Listen, what is awesome though, right, is you take a band like Bring Me the Horizon. Like, we all know them from their early days. Like, obviously, we know how heavy they were.
They were heavy.
And then you slap them with a song into a song with like Ed Sheeran, and you're like, yeah, dude, this band Bring Me the Horizon. Like, kids coming up nowadays, I bet you if they go back and listen to any of their old albums like Suicide Season, they're gonna be like, this isn't Bring Me the Horizon. The fuck it ain't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the OG. But I do appreciate, especially as somebody who tries to craft individual songs that sound different, I appreciate the bands that, they don't do the same thing every time. Yeah, I think that.
Finger Death Punch.
Well,
That's a whole other topic. to
yeah,
get on
let's
there.
not get into that. Like with Suicide Season, like it exists, it's there. You can always return to it, but then you can go to their new stuff and find something new. And like another band that did that I really appreciated their newer album was The Devil Wears Prada. They have that newer album, The Ritual. I don't know.
I haven't heard it much. The only thing of theirs I recall really getting into was a zombie EP.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty heavy.
Yeah. So like their newer stuff is a little bit different from that. They did release a zombie EP too, which is
They did?
Yeah, it's really fucking
I gotta
good.
check that out.
Yeah, it's really heavy. But their albums have kind of, I don't want to say they're less heavy, but they're more like kind of off the wall and progressive. And I just love that you can listen to those older albums and like get that like teen angst, like you can get the frustrations out, but then you can get like the big brain, metal masterpieces out of the newer stuff too. Like I like a band that you can kind of buy into different albums and get something different out of each one.
Right.
Like I mean Blind Guardian's like that too, if we want to get really nerdy.
Yeah.
I mean every album is like very different.
all their old stuff was old school metal, like thrashy kind of. And now what are they, power metal?
Yeah, they're like power metal, symphonic.
They tour with bands like Iced Earth type of stuff.
Yeah,
if that tells you anything. But
a band that I got introduced to in the last probably year and a half, 2 years is the Browning.
Yep.
And I fuck with them heavy. But that's also because I'm a huge fan of dubstep too. So one of my favorite like dubstep producers is Sullivan King. And I love him because he mixes that like metalcore, because he's got like the perfect fucking scream for metalcore. But then like he'll take it and take these gnarly metalcore, metally guitar riffs and mix them in with dubstep, and it's just fucking, and it's all original. It's not like he's taking some generic thing you can find on fucking Fruity Loops or Ableton. Like he's doing all of his own guitar work. And whenever he plays, he brings his guitar on stage and plays the guitar while also DJing.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. I believe it's the drummer, I'm not certain, but one of the members from the Browning plays for that band Motograder. You remember them?
I do know Motograder. That's the guy that Ivan Moody from Five Finger Death Punch was in.
He used to sing for them back in like 03. And some other bands he sang for, but Motograder's got like a whole new lineup, like a different setup.
I didn't know they were still around.
No, they were gone, but they just came out and put an album. It's been a few years now, actually, but I think the drummer of the Browning is in that album.
Here's the new podcast featuring all old information.
Yeah.
You guys remember about 5 years ago?
Do y'all remember back in 2006?
Just reminiscing.
Well, dude, that's like me with Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, no.
I like Avenged Sevenfold. I don't like their latest album, The Stage or whatever, but I will say their White album was really creative.
Good thing Deb's not in here. She'd fucking slit your throat.
I like them. I mean, I don't know if you're into any of their older stuff when they were heavier.
When I was in high school, yes, but then, like all people who eventually grow out of terrible things, I did that.
But they are one of those bands where they didn't stick with the heavy metal they were doing. They kind of like
they couldn't.
They branched out.
They couldn't,
right.
I don't know. I feel like what they were doing back during like the really metalcore days, like other bands kind of did better anyway. And then, I mean, nothing to slight them. I mean, obviously they have tons of fans. For me, not really for me.
Right.
And I like to pick on them because the people who are like really into Avenged Sevenfold, they get like really fucking salty.
No.
So Deb's favorite band is Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
And I give her shit all the time. I'm like, they haven't put out anything good since City of Evil.
See, I liked a couple tracks on the Nightmare album. I like just a couple, and the White album, like I said. But really, after that, there wasn't much that I got into.
I don't even think I've listened to. I definitely listened to like the first couple songs on the Nightmare album, and then I don't think I ever listened to Avenged Sevenfold again.
Dude, speaking of old bands that we all grew up loving, Bullet for My Valentine last year put out a killer fucking album. I don't care what anyone fucking says.
Stefan actually told me that. He was like, because we were all not talking shit on the band, but we were like, I liked him in high school a little bit, but he was like, Bullet's latest shit is like really heavy, and I'm like, I haven't given it a shot yet, but I may. I don't know.
Bro, the first song on the album is probably a 1.5-minute intro to the song. And it's a radio playing, and you hear all their older stuff like Tears Don't Fall, and it's like cycling through a radio channel, and then it just fucking woof, brings you straight in. And it's so wild because there for the longest time, like, there's a reason that Bullet for My Valentine wasn't as heavy as they were. And it's the same reason Avenged Sevenfold can't be as heavy as they were. And it's both lead singers shredded their vocal cords because they were screaming wrong.
Right.
So now, I guess the lead singer of Bullet has finally got his shit fixed because he is screaming again. And that is the heaviest album I've heard Bullet put out since, all fucking dicks. Since The Poison.
It's just weird how, like, there's a lot of bands like that they go back and forth. They'll put out a really heavy album and then 1 or 2 albums where you're like, what's going on here? And then they come back and they're like, now they're better and heavier than they were before. Like, I don't really understand it, I guess.
Last year, a ton of old metalcore bands came out with new albums. Like, it's actually like, dude, Trivium came out with a new album. Unearth. Didn't Machine Head come out with something? Or maybe I'm misremembering.
I fell away from Machine Head years ago.
Yeah, same. But, like, there's just, like, I guess maybe the pandemic had something to do with that. But a ton of, I know Darkest Hour came out with something, too. Like, just a ton of those old school metalcore bands that I loved when I was, in high school, like a freshman. Like, they all came out with an album last year. Couldn't even keep up.
Yeah, because even All That Remains there for a couple albums, they were really going down the shitter, I thought. I was like, man, this band is really losing it. They're hitting more of a mainstream vibe. And then they put out their latest album, and I was like, this sounds like the old heavy shit. Like,
I cannot wait for them to release a new album. My buddy is playing bass in that band right now, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Matt Deese, if you're listening, hi, buddy. One of my closest friends from high school, Tara Lansing, is marrying him later this year. And he's a really fucking cool guy. I cannot wait for that, one, because he's in the band. And then 2, fucking Jason Richardson, dude. All That Remains with Jason Richardson is going to be just the nastiest fucking shit. Like, their first 2 or 3 albums are some of my most listened to albums from.
Oh, yeah.
in high
I
school.
love the old school All That Remains.
Yeah.
It's just that a few, like, I guess within the last 5 years or so, they had a couple albums like Halo or something.
Mm-hmm.
They had like 2 albums they put out back to back, and I was like, I'm not into this. I'm not feeling it. And then they, like I said, I don't remember what their latest one was called, but it was much heavier.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they got back on track.
Something I've always thought about. And it talks about, like, us kids and, like, well, us kids, but, like, us, like, our age group, whenever a band that we used to love doesn't put out something heavy, right?
Yeah.
It blows, it makes me laugh a little bit because I'm even guilty of it. But you hear a band that you used to love because they were, dude, these dudes are so fucking heavy. Oh, my God. I feel like we all love heavy music because fucking the school system's shit and we hated our lives back in the day.
Oh, God, here we go with the dystopian conversation.
Everyone was all hormonal and going through changes. So, like, you listen to shit like Rammstein back in the day. On the bus, and I'm all fucking. But nowadays, I don't know. Things are different.
Things are different. Are they?
Are they?
Have you guys seen Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
The new one?
The newest one.
No.
Oh,
I've
no.
not seen the
Okay.
newest one yet.
I won't spoil anything from the movie, but there's a part where one of the characters asks him, like, Mr. Strange, are you happy? And you could just see on his face, like, this existential crisis. It's like, bro, I relate to that.
Are you happy? Obviously, I'm fucking not happy, but I'm gonna tell you I am, so you don't worry about me.
What were we talking about again?
God, dude, this fucking show and taking you down fucking rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of movies, the new fucking Batman, I was about it.
I was about it.
I have not seen it.
Well,
It's on HBO Max.
Oh, is it?
Well, at least whenever I watched it, it was on HBO Max.
the only thing that sucks, not about the movie, I like the movie a lot. There's a lot of people that are just immediately comparing it to the Dark Knight trilogy.
And it's not the same.
And it's not, it's like, it's almost as if you took the characters and a little bit of like the old feeling of the old school Batman, the Tim Burton ones, and just mixed it in with the Dark Knight. It's kind of like a big blend of all of that. But there's a lot of people, even some of my brothers are like hating on it. They're like, yeah, it's not the Dark Knight. I'm like, I know, it's the Batman. Well, like, get on it.
Like, there's a few times in the movie. It's been out long enough. I'll fucking talk about it. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
But there's a few times in the movie where I was like, okay, Bruce Wayne's a little bit too emo.
Yes, people have told me that, like certain scenes.
But then,
I kind of agree.
But then at the same time, I'm like, but it's perfect too, because if you think about it, this is like one thing I love that like DC movies are doing is it's the darker movies.
Oh yeah,
they're not trying to do a family friendly movie. They're
Right.
trying to do a movie that's kind of dark. So if you think about it, like the older Batmans, all of them, I don't give a shit which one. But the whole basis of Batman is the fact that he's constantly mourning the death of his parents. He's trying to find the killer of his parents.
yeah.
It's like his.
Wouldn't
whole
you be
motivation.
fucked up for life if you fucking watched your parents get shot and murdered right in front of you?
Yeah, he's like a pissed off assassin that's dressed as a bat. It's kind of crazy.
My brother went and saw it twice and didn't invite me. So to Victor, you're a cuck. Fuck you. Why didn't you invite me, asshole?
So I was gonna wait to watch it till I got home, but my dad was like, "Yeah, the Batman's on HBO Max already," and I'm in Fort Hood, Texas. I'm bored as fuck, sitting in the hotel room, and I'm just like, "Well, I was gonna wait to go watch it, but I really want to see if Batman sparkles in the sunlight." So
It's kind of a long movie. I think it was like 2.5 hours, wasn't it?
it was closer to 3.
Was it closer? Oh shit!
Speaking
It's a long
of
one.
Robert Pattinson, have you guys seen the movie?
Twilight.
Hell yeah, I've seen Twilight.
Twilight. No,
Have you seen that shit?
The Devil All the Time. It's a Netflix movie.
I
Is
have
that the
not-
one with the Spider-Man dude in it?
Yeah,
I've
Tom
seen
Holland's
that.
in it.
I
Yeah.
have not seen it.
And
Robert Pattinson is a fucking asshole in that
Yeah,
movie,
he
dude.
was.
Dude, isn't it wild though? Like watching, Twilight. That's where some of these actors kind of got their big push into Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say all of them, but some of them.
And that's crazy because Twilight was not good.
You shut the fuck up about that. Twilight was a fucking cinema genius. Okay.
Hey, the last one was good until they stopped everybody from dying. I was about it. I was like, yo, this is kind of metal. I like this.
I don't know why. I never could follow those movies. I watched them and I watched the Hunger Games and I'm like, those are okay. But the Twilight movies, it just, there's something about it, man.
Saw them all with my mother.
Dude, I've watched. So, back whenever I was in high school, whenever Twilight came out, so to impress the females,
How old
you
are
had
you?
to- I'm 26.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what? How old are all of we? I need to know right now.
Oh, God.
26, how old are you?
28.
Man, I'm
I think-
34.
You old fuck.
I'm old as fuck.
Wait, are you 34?
I'm 34, dude.
For some reason, I thought I was older than you. Okay, I'm not the oldest one.
Yeah, dude, but
Sigh of relief.
It's me.
dude, but even being 28, you're not that much older than me.
Yeah, still, I was like...
Because I turned 27 this year.
All right, so what happened with Twilight?
Okay, so
I gotta know.
yeah, you got to feel old man.
so back in the day, to get in good with the ladies, you had to know what was going on in Twilight, and you had to be willing to watch it. At first, I was very standoffish
I'm
against
going to
it.
object against this. All right. Proceed.
Right? And at first, I was very standoffish against it. And I started watching it, and I'm like, damn, bro, this storyline fucking pulls you in. Son of a bitch.
I think there's two things about Twilight that turns me off to it. It's just the acting and the CGI. Like the wolves, it just looked like really bad wolves CGI'd in, and they were like 3 times the size they should be. And I expected some brutal ass werewolves to pop out. And the acting, what's the woman's name? The girl's name?
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
I
Trash.
think she's a terrible actress, man.
She is.
We just watched, what's the name of that movie?
Yeah,
Into
like
the
she-
Wild?
Isn't there 2 movies called Into the Wild?
Maybe.
Like 2 different. I'm not sure.
I know Kristen Stewart just came out with a movie where she had short blonde hair.
That wasn't it, no.
And I wanted to watch it, but then a part of me was like, I got other good things to watch.
Yeah, we just watched Into the Wild, and she has like that same look on her face, and she's only in a little bit of the movie, and I'm like, she's doing the same thing she did through all Twilight, dude. What the fuck?
that lost, confused, like blinking her eyes, and just she just makes this face of like, I don't know what it is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, we'll find out Billy's a brony as well. So, all right, you want to go ahead?
No. So speaking of old movies, right? Y'all remember the movie Fault in Our Stars, right?
Yes.
The name of it, I
Okay.
don't recall the movie.
So I remember it was my senior year of high school. I never read the book. I didn't know nothing about it. I was taking my then girlfriend and her sister and her friend. We were all going to go watch it.
Yeah.
And pulling up to the movie, I was like, "Hey, y'all ready to go watch A Fault in Our Lungs or something?"
A Fault in Our Lungs.
And it's I knew nothing about it, and it's a movie about people that have like lung cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember that
Well,
movie.
that makes sense.
And I kind of felt bad, but at the same time, I'm like, God damn, dude, this is a good fucking joke.
It fits.
That's some dark shit.
Dark humor is what keeps me going in life.
Yeah. That's all comedians, man.
Yeah, pretty
All,
much.
you know what I mean?
Dude, speaking of fucking comedians, did y'all see where Chappelle got attacked on stage and then they turned the dude's arm into a Nike swoosh?
I didn't see all of it. I saw like a quick second glimpse and I was scrolling. Like,
I heard about it, but I didn't see anything.
So Dave Chappelle gets attacked on stage. Busta Rhymes and Jamie Foxx come up and just start beating the fuck out of this dude.
Really?
And like, if you see in the video, like in a picture of the kid getting put into an ambulance, his arm looks like a Nike check mark.
wow.
And then you have Chris Rock comes on stage and is like, "Yo, was that Will Smith?"
That was pretty bizarre. Will Smith doing that.
I have
don't
no
know.
opinion.
Nothing really surprises me these days, I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
I know it wasn't the Golden Globes or whatever, but where's Ricky Gervais? Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Dude, Ricky Gervais cracks me the fuck up.
yeah, he's the best. Yeah, that I don't think Chris Rock did nearly as good of a job, but I think that's like the Oscars versus the Golden Globes, right? Because he did the Golden Globes, I think, right? Is that how that worked? Or I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. How'd
Nothing
we
to
get
quit.
here?
Nothing a quick Google search can't find.
Let's talk about Elden Ring now. Let's talk about stuff I know.
Dude, I've never played Elden Ring, and I've heard it's a killer game, but I never even played like fucking Skyrim either. So
Do you game out? I don't even know.
not like I used to, like a little here and there, but it's most of the time it's like Chris and my buddy Michael Moreland, like they're trying to talk me into getting in the games, but I don't really have a lot of free time anymore to do that. And the free time that I do get, I just want to chill, just watch a movie or something. So I don't know why I fell away from gaming so bad, because I used to be one of those all-nighter like online gamers with a headset and shit.
What'd you play?
Call of Duty.
Oh yeah.
In Resistance, I was like a PS3 guy.
Well, that's why you don't play anymore. You're playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's it.
listen.
This is old school.
We're
talk.
bringing all the hot takes this week.
Yeah.
Call of Duty just brought in King Kong and Godzilla, and it's the greatest thing they've done in a hot minute. Hey, if you need to adjust that, just turn that just a little bit and tighten her up a
There we
good
go.
bit. But dude, seriously, the fact like this whole Godzilla and King, granted, it's getting old now. It's been like 4 days, but it's so dope because in the way they showed it was like it was going to be Godzilla and King Kong fighting, but the whole fucking premise of it is you have to shoot them to deal damage to them so that you can then get your load out. And then you also get a new kill streak that like you can call their like attack in, which is either like throwing a rock or a heat wave and like call it into a certain area and like control King Kong and Godzilla. It's a pretty good time.
Yeah, I need to get back into gaming, honestly. I just want to get a PS5. I really do.
There's also an Easter egg that's showing that the next event might be Predator.
Oh, really?
It reminds me of there's that Dead by Daylight game where you like run away from the killers. That game seems cool. I haven't played it. One of my friends is really into it.
Huh.
It has like every serial killer from a slasher movie you can think of in it.
That's a good topic to get on right there. Some serial killer
That's
stuff.
where you can relate.
Yeah, because, I grew up watching all that shit, slashers, and
We want to talk serial killers.
Oh,
let's
I-
talk murder.
I am fucking convinced that Bob Ross is a serial killer.
Bob Ross?
enlighten us, illuminate us.
Yeah,
Okay,
please
so,
do.
So like his paintings, There's a big theory out there that his paintings is where he hid the bodies.
Oh no.
Hang on. It gets even crazier. If you go in and look at where like some serial killers, like 5 women bodies have been found, or 2 or 3 or whatever, the area and the location it was found out matches Bob Ross's paintings.
Oh my God.
Well, if that is all true, it's the perfect cover up because he comes off as a guy who would never be that way. Like when you watch a show growing up, you're like, this is the nicest dude in the world.
Mm-hmm.
No one with that kind of hair would kill someone, right?
I mean, Ted Bundy came off as a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Have you guys seen? There's these shows on Netflix. They're like limited documentary series. They've done a few of them. There was this torso killer one. He got most of his kills in Times Square. It sounds like you would probably appreciate it with bringing that up, but it's the guy. He gets on. He's being interviewed by the courts, and he's like, "Yeah, there's probably like 80 bodies out there.
Shit.
They only uncovered like 12 of them or something like that." That was pretty mind blowing to watch that series. I think it's like 3 or 4 episodes.
But what time frame was that based in?
It was Times Square in the 60s or 70s.
Okay, that makes sense. Like, because when you always hear about multiple bodies, it's always in the 70s when they didn't have technology to find like
Or 80s.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, I did all of that. Like nowadays, like
it was late 70s, early 80s. You
Dude,
saying that reminded me.
Isn't it kind of wild though? Like you hear about all these serial killers, like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, the dude who I can't ever remember his name, but the dude who like influenced like Leatherface.
Ed Gein.
Yeah, Ed Gein.
Yeah.
Up until you hear about like all these serial killers, and then it's like, where the fuck are serial killers out nowadays? Or like, are we like finally to that point where we're like mentally stable now, or are they just not getting found?
I don't think the world's mentally stable by any means. I think it's more of like people are scared of the fact that they can get caught, and like back in the day, people got cocky. Like there was no way of getting caught. There was no forensic shit. Like you watch all those documentaries, like Ted Bundy. How many women did he like rape and murder?
Before he got caught.
It was so many.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's wild too is whenever they did finally get caught, there was like no fucking remorse either.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no, they just like went on about their day. Like, did you watch the one on Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker?
Yes.
That guy had no remorse whatsoever. Like he murdered women, children, and like he just like smiled about it and just went about his day. I don't get how someone gets to that point. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, to do something so evil and heinous and not give a fuck is just no compassion for others. I mean, that is the actual definition for being a psycho. So,
Dude, I feel like shit if I make a joke and it hurts someone's feelings.
yeah, for real. I'm the same way. Unless it's my brother, then I don't care. But
When you don't care.
yeah,
Well, dude, even like so my friendships are those ones that like if we're not picking on each other, we know something's up. And I do that with everybody. It doesn't fucking matter. Like once I get comfortable with you, I mean, I ain't gonna be like, it ain't gonna be like asshole joking, but you're gonna know I'm joking.
Mm-hmm.
But if I say something and it like just doesn't matter who it is, even my brothers, and I know it like tweaks a wire in you, I'm gonna be like, bro, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it the way it came out. Like,
Yeah.
I've never been one to get offended by jokes ever in my life. People tell stuff and like just say the raunchiest shit. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't affect me.
bounces right off you.
It's comedy, you know what I mean? It all, like you said, comes from like a dark place and like just, I don't know.
dude, that's what makes like, dude, listen, dark humor in our generation is the greatest fucking thing ever, because we are in a generation that's like really, really, really like finally bringing like mental health to the forefront of stuff.
We're extremely self-aware.
Yeah.
I think that's what it really is.
Listen, I got a West Virginia education. I don't know how to word shit.
I've never looked in the mirror. No, I think this generation is like super self-aware as well. You know, we're able to understand our position in the world a lot better than the people that came before us.
Yeah, that's true.
I just watched a TikTok the other day where a dude was talking about how like he went through years and years of like abuse at his job, like not like like typical workplace abuse, like working countless hours, getting underpaid, and this kid wasn't putting up with it, and the guy was like, "Bro, no, sorry." The kid went up to the guy and was like, "Dude, why do you deal with this?" He's like, "Because I got to." He's like, "No, the fuck you don't. Like, there's so many other places out here of employment that you can go to that either pay better or treat you better or whatever,
or both,
or both pay you better and treat you better." And it's just one thing that blows my mind, because like the job I work, they don't treat us like shit and they pay us all right, but I'm constantly hating it. But then I also have that old school mentality of, well, you just gotta stick it out till you fucking retire, and I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, I want to be home.
Yeah, I get that. I do. But there's also been times in my past where I think I hate a job where I'm working at. I'm like, I fucking hate it. And then I quit and I went to another job and I'm not there very long. And I'm realizing like my old job, it wasn't bad at all. And I immediately went running back and like stuck it out for much longer.
Is the grass greener on the other side analogy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie to you. There was this big truck that pulled in, and I remember that, like, the last time we talked, you were, like, in, like, construction and all that, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm right? Okay.
Yeah.
I saw this big truck come in, and Deb's like, damn, is that Anthony? I was like, if it is, I'm going to tell him I want his fucking truck.
Yeah, I'm in sales for Sunbelt Rentals, and I can say with confidence they actually do treat me very well. I'm proud to work for them. It's a good company to work for. So love all my bosses, and they're not paying me to say that or anything, but yeah. No, I do appreciate being appreciated, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Bringing it back to music, right? One thing that blows my mind.
Okay.
And, well, no, this is just came off the top of my head.
I hear you.
One thing that blows my mind about local music is you got people that are doing it for the passion, because everyone works a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
There's not too many people that are just 100% music full-time.
Yeah, I know.
And you get so much great music out of people who work, a full-time job and then do music as like a side gig. Yeah. And it's, in my opinion, I'd rather see the passion in music than it being a job.
I can now perfectly paint a thread from where we began with this conversation about bands being, they have the heaviest, most hardcore stuff to, they get softer and lighter as soon as they go pro. And it's because they're working their shitty ass full-time jobs in the beginning and are perfectly inspired. So see, this entire conversation, we're not just rambling. We're not just going on to these random, tangents that mean absolutely no. We're painting the most perfect, beautiful picture. Yeah, we definitely. This is the true professional podcast and how it's handled.
Yeah, we resolved all of it.
Rant over.
That's what happens, man.
You got another beer?
For another beer. I was crying laughing.
If you just think we're a bunch of assholes who talk about nothing, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
We've been thinking about this storyline since the beginning.
I agree with what you're saying, and there's also people that say that it's because bands like Slipknot and Mudvayne and stuff back in the early days were, they were super pissed off working jobs they hate and doing shit, and it's just like everything else interfered. So as they get older, it's just so much easier on them. Like they're just like, here's your studio, this is what you do now, and they're just like, okay, cool, and they're chill. There's nothing to be mad about anymore. So people told me about Korn, like Jonathan Davis. They're like, his new stuff is like lyrically empty compared to old stuff. And I'm like, I mean, what's he gonna be pissed about? Mm-hmm. He's been pissed about the same shit for like 25 years. Like, it's gotta get old.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Maybe he went to therapy and it's just like,
yeah,
he's ironed some of that shit out.
If you really have no anger build up and no issues going on in your life, you're probably gonna make some chill music.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be different for a different audience.
Because I feel like Corey Taylor back in the day must have really had some fucking problems. Because the first two Slipknot albums were just brutal.
Well, the reason Iowa was brutal, and this has been said in multiple interviews, is because they were all locked in a house together until recording was finished.
Yeah, and there's like 9 of them.
And there was 9 of them. and also the mansion they recorded in was haunted.
I thought that was Subliminal Verses. Subliminal Verses is the one that they record in a haunted house. Unless they recorded both of them in a haunted house.
Iowa was recorded in a house that was haunted as well.
Okay.
But they were all also dealing with their addictions at the time, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were a lot younger. Were they like around 20, I guess, or something when they did that album?
Well, when the fuck did Iowa come out?
Iowa was like 2001, I think, roughly.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because the
I
self-titled
think
was
so.
99.
Yeah.
But
It was...
I was 20 years old. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I know,
it
I
came
know.
out August 28th, 2001.
Yep.
Damn.
And see, I tried to show my younger brother.
Rock Facts with David Pezzanite.
But I've had like younger people, like my brother and such. They would say things like, "Slipknot has a bad recording sound." They'd hear the first album, he's like, "It sounds too trashy and thrashy," and I'm like, I went back and listened to it. I'm like, it has a different sound than the other. You know, the earlier stuff was definitely a different sound, but I feel like that's what made it. Like it had its own thing. Like
Slipknot's first album to me, like, was just a re-recorded demo.
yeah,
Like, well, like literally, their whole first album is the demo that they sent out to different record labels, and then they were like, so they re-recorded it in a professional studio. But Slipknot's first album was just so gritty, so fucking at the time underground.
it was like raw. It was just like, I don't know. There was nothing like it.
Okay, you know what? Since we're on this topic, what's your favorite song from the first album?
Probably Purity. The one that was banned for a while and then like brought back out. You know, they had like 3 or 4 versions of that album. That's one of my, that and Eyeless. Eyeless was one of my favorites.
Eyeless is my favorite song on that album.
Sick.
No Life. Yeah,
Sick?
Yep.
Damn, I forgot about Sick.
We had thought about
That I love the way
The
he
end
just
of-
like breaks down at
Yeah.
the end. It's so good.
we were at practice, all the Koluna boys. We were practicing one day, and all of them started jamming and playing Sick for the first time, just randomly. Like, and they nailed it. And I was like, Chris, we have to fucking do this, man. I was like, it's perfect. Like, they're already nailing it the first time, just goofing off. But I don't know. That may happen in the future. I'm not sure. There's been talk about doing covers of that, but
I like to warm up with that last riff because it like really, especially for my hand size, to get the stretch. It stretches your hand out. So
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like all their riffs from that album are like that. Just like
Yeah.
really like, just really low and just finger twisters. It's kind of fun.
well, they were really low tuned, like in Iowa, weren't they?
They've always played in B for the most part. They have a couple
they?
songs in drop A,
Okay.
but
I always thought Iowa sounded lower and just deeper, dark, all around, just dark.
they're okay. So, not People Equal Shit, but what's the other?
Heretic Anthem.
Heretic Anthem is in drop A flat, I believe.
Mm.
Goddamn, so much technical talk here, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that just means you tune the guitar lower, so that's where you're getting that grit. I will say, earlier you said like a lot of people don't like the production on the
Right.
Slipknot albums, especially on the newer ones. I don't like the guitar tone
No.
like at all. It just sounds like mud. Like you guys are recording in these crazy, awesome studios. I'm sure you're one of the
Yeah.
biggest heavy metal bands like ever at this point. So like,
They are.
where's the guitar tone, bro? Like where's the budget for that?
Well, I just watched an interview with James Root, or Jim Root, whatever you want to call him, you know, either or.
Jimothy?
Jimothy. But he was getting interviewed at backstage at their show in Camden a couple years ago. Man, I can't remember the guy's name who did it. But he was going like diving deep into his setup, like the amps, the come on, I need
Orange?
more. Huh?
He uses orange amps, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he
Yeah,
does?
yeah. He uses orange and he uses some other things. But then he was also like diving deep into his guitars. This motherfucker travels with like 10 to 12 guitars.
I mean, it's believable at this point.
I don't mean motherfucker in a like negatory, like, because Jim Root is my favorite person from Slipknot.
Really?
He has been like my whole life. Well, Joey Jordison as well, because I
Right.
love drums. But like anytime that like Jim Root would do something like solo, like on his YouTube channel or something, I would tune into that like before anything else. And I watched this and I'm just like, dude, how dope would it be to just like you've got your studio guitars, then you got your touring guitars, then you got this guitar, and it's just like, fuck, man. There's so much money sitting in that one locker. It's not even funny.
I couldn't imagine the budget, like the money that goes in and out for Slipknot alone. Like 9 members and everything they do, like it's got to be a fortune.
Yeah. So Jim Root's your favorite. I gotta ask you then, how do you feel about Stone Sour?
Dun dun dun. Stone Sour.
With Jim Root in it or without?
Is he not in it anymore?
No.
I thought
How
Corey
was he?
Taylor wasn't in it anymore.
No, Corey Taylor's still in Stone Sour. Jim Root, hang on.
No, Corey Taylor got kicked out, I thought.
Is that why he did his own CMFT solo thing?
I thought
'Cause
so.
he's done with Stone Sour. Okay,
Maybe I am mixing it up and I just don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I thought it was the other way around.
I like 95% probably of the first Stone Sour album, and I like maybe 2 or 3 tracks off their second. After that, nothing.
That
So it says here that Stone Sour is an American rock band from Des Moines, Iowa. The band performed for 5 years before disbanding in 1997. They reunited in 2000, and since 2015, the group has consisted of Corey Taylor, Josh Rand, Christian Martucci, I might probably fuck that up, Johnny Chow, and Roy Mayorga.
Oh, so they did kick.
Yeah.
I had it backwards. Okay.
Yeah. So Jim Root was in it for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then he got kicked, or he decided to go just focus on one thing or the other. Because, I mean, dude, think about it. If you're in a band as big as Slipknot, and then you're doing another project like Stone Sour, which was catching a lot of steam, it's really hard to balance between the two.
Well, there's a lot of blending. Come Whatever May, I was going to see if either of you would bring that up. That album's pretty fucking
That's
awesome.
the second one, right?
I think so.
That's the one I was saying. A few tracks I really liked, and the rest of it was kind of bland to me.
I like Stone Sour for what it is. I wouldn't say I love Stone Sour, but I like Stone Sour because it gave Corey Taylor, Jim Root, whoever else was like at the time, whenever I got into them, it gave them an avenue to do something that's different than Slipknot. But it was still them being artists, and they didn't have to really switch up Slipknot's sound. But believe it or not, Jim Root is more like he has said in multiple interviews, at least. Don't quote me on this, but I swear up and down I've seen interviews where he says he would rather play jazz than metal.
Really?
Yeah, he was a guitar instructor before being in Slipknot. That's a lot of their first album is just like guitar warm-ups, basically. Like they're just like all chromatic and just guitar warm-ups. Like their guitar style on those first couple albums is pretty interesting because it's not overly technical. It's really simple stuff for the most part.
Well, and Jim said in that interview I watched where he was like, the reason I don't play technical guitar for Slipknot is because then I'm going to overthink it because I'm OCD about how I play guitar.
Yeah. He's an incredible player. I mean, the guitar solos that they finally let him have on, All Hope Is Gone, I think speak to that. He's really awesome. But Stone Sour, man, that Come Whatever May album, revisit that. That shit's awesome. Yeah. Reborn, that song's freaking great.
Yeah, I remember Reborn. That was that's one of the ones I liked.
Yep. Yeah.
But
have you guys listened to Vended?
Yeah.
You brought this up last time.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard like one song.
Well, what was it? Asylum?
It was. They had a video for it. It must have been there.
Yeah, Asylum's the only song I've heard by them too.
Okay.
But funny enough, right, is Corey Taylor's son is mad because people are comparing them to Slipknot. But caveat to that is they came up, like I was just driving one day, wasn't paying attention to what was playing, and they just came up and I was jamming. I'm like, damn, I didn't know Slipknot came out with a new song, even though I already knew it was Vended. Because you cannot sit there and put Corey Taylor and his son side by side vocally and tell the difference between the two.
Yeah,
Really?
he does have. He's very similar to the early days Corey Taylor, like the first album. It was very, very close. But I don't know. The whole Slipknot and Stone Sour thing, though, is at that time for me being younger, my mind frame, like it bummed me out really quick. Because my buddy Mike pulled a prank on me and was like, he's like, check out this song. and he played Stone Sour Get Inside. He's like, this is the new Slipknot. And I was like, it's okay. It's a little different. I don't know. And then he started laughing. He's like, it's Stone Sour. But when I really dove into him and listened to him, at first I was okay with it. But I noticed over the years, Slipknot like absorbed that Stone Sour vibe and sound.
Yeah,
like,
All Hope Is Gone is definitely very Stone Sour.
Yeah, you'll get a song where you're like, that's kind of Iowa, new vibe, Slipknot a little, but like the next song you hear, you're like, this is way too like Stone Sour, and that just bothered me so much. I was like, keep those two separated completely. But I guess I didn't like that he took his mask off and did a softer band. Like that kind of ruined the whole vibe for me.
Well, you go ahead.
I was gonna say the breakdown in Bandkiller was like very inspired by Corey Taylor's vocal style.
Yeah.
I remember when we were recording it, I was trying to get you to like do that like gritty, like sick kind of ending, like where he's like kind of building up to it, like the primal forces are marauding,
More intense, yeah.
yeah, like where you like kind of build up into it, and that's where I got that idea. Another band I really love, you might know it, Slice the Cake. Does that sound familiar?
I don't think I know them.
They're like this internet band from one guy's from Australia, one guy's from like the UK, and they have this really incredible album called Odyssey to the West. It's like really
Slice the Cake.
I don't even know. It's like an hour and a half long. I mean, it is just fucking insanely good, but that guy is really inspired by Corey Taylor. And like you can hear it in his performance, like the way he does like the deep talking voice like this during some songs, and then like he'll do that like kind of gritty like build up like I can't take it, you know, that kind of stuff. Like it's really cool. I really love that band, and I will mention their name at any possible moment.
Yeah. I've always been a big Corey Taylor fan, but I mean, as I get older, everyone tells me he's like an arrogant prick these days, but that kind of bummed me out, but it's expected.
There's like this metal meme going on right now whenever like something political happens, and you always see people in the comments that are like, and what's Corey Taylor have to say about that?
Dude, one thing I loved last summer was whenever Machine Gun Kelly like talk shit about Corey Taylor, and Corey Taylor just put him on fucking blast.
MGK's a joke.
Okay, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. I fuck hard with his fucking pop punk shit, but I'm a huge fan of pop punk as well. So, granted, even though Eminem killed his rap career, but you know we ain't gonna go down that far. But just the fact that he was able to work with one of the greatest fucking drummers ever in pop punk.
He drummed with Travis Barker, right?
Yeah, dude. Travis Barker did all the drums.
That's what I thought.
And the fact that he had the opportunity to work with him and go from rap to pop punk in that type of environment, dude, it was
I don't know
awesome.
how I feel about pop punk. Like, it was never anything I really hated or loved. It was something I'd hear, and I'm very particular about it, if I like it or not. Like, there's only one band that sticks out that I listened to when I was younger, and that's I See Stars. And they were kind of punk pop. The earlier stuff.
Yeah,
was
they have some pop.
The newer stuff was like Asking Alexandria's heavy shit.
Yeah,
but yeah. When they started, they were definitely pop punk to me.
I'm a huge fan of the story so far.
Really?
So,
what's the band? Crap, the band that Sonny was in before being Skrillex.
Oh fuck.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about, but I'm drawing a brain fart. Nothing Google can't fix.
But I was gonna say, as I get older, I kind of find more appreciation for it. Like I always used to think like MCR was just so cringe, like I just don't care. But
from first to last.
Yeah, from first to last, dude. They have an album where Spencer from Periphery does the vocals on the whole album. That shit is.
Yeah, I get into Periphery.
That shit's fucking awesome, dude. It's Dead Trees, I think, is the name of the album. From first to last. That shit's awesome. But like when I started seeing my now fiance, I was trying to like learn a couple songs that she liked to like, you know, impress her or whatever. And one of the songs was The Black Parade by MCR. And I was like, you know, I always thought MCR is kind of cringe, but this song is kind of all right. Like I'll learn it. It's actually so fun to play on guitar. Like I totally get why those guys are like yeah, we're just gonna play like this super fun 2-step the entire song, and like it's just. I don't know. As I get older, like I get it. I'm less like resistant towards it.
I get that. I'm the same way, but I will say that band is not something that it didn't appeal to me when they were huge back in like middle school, high school era, or whatever. I remember seeing their videos, and I was so into like heavy bands at the time. So when I saw it, I was like, it's not really my thing. I don't hate on it, but are they still going?
They
No.
literally just dropped a new song this
Oh,
week.
did they?
Really?
They literally just dropped a new song. The fact that you brought it up,
That's
like,
crazy.
That's an
is
awesome segue. Look at that.
Yeah.
See?
And but believe it or not, Gerard Way wasn't a song where he screamed again, like heavy scream again. Because whenever My Chem first came out, they were super heavy, and then
I
they
didn't know
went
that.
into like that emo time frame where they started doing a lot of that and like became unheavy. But Gerard Way was in a song that dropped this year that he is screaming in the whole thing, and
That's
it's
cool.
great.
I'm gonna have to
Is-
check that out.
Isn't that the same thing that happened with Under Oath? Weren't they like heavy, and then they got real soft and like almost alternative music to me? But
I was
Hey.
never into Under Oath.
I think they're old. Someone told, I never like fact checked it, but someone told me the original vocalist, when they were real heavy and screaming, they said that he sings for Mailings and the Sons of Disaster.
Mm.
They're like southern metal rock, something like that. But I didn't know if you listened to Under Oath. I
No.
thought that was a band you got into.
I mean, like I've seen them live actually like 4 times.
Have you really?
But I never like really was into
Well.
their albums or anything. I mean, they have a great live show.
Huh.
And they used to play with one of my favorite bands, Eye the Breather, a lot. Or not
remember
Eye the
them.
Breather, Oh Sleeper. Well, Eye the Breather too, but I've seen them a few times, and they have a great show. I just never really like, yeah, I'm going to listen to some Under Oath today. I just never really been that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember going to a Mayhem Fest one year.
I saw that one, yeah.
Was it the time when like Norma Jean was there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
they were basically
Atreyu?
like across the
Yeah.
way. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, dude, I miss,
Mayhem Fest.
yeah.
It was amazing.
I went to every one of them.
I missed the first year that came out in 2008 because someone said that Dragon Force and Disturbed was there, and I didn't see that year.
I did go to that one, and yeah.
I went the following year in 2009 when like Black Dahlia was there, All That Remains,
Yep.
Behemoth, I think.
When All That Remains was playing at that show, there was this fucking asshole behind me the entire time, because that was the year Slayer closed, and there was this guy behind me the entire time that All That Remains was playing, was going, "Fuck yeah, Slayer!"
Oh, are you serious?
Just behind me the entire time, just, "These guys suck, Slayer, let's go!"
Just throw them out.
He's a fucking
fans need to
asshole.
go.
And of course, this is like the side stage. This isn't even the stage
Yeah.
that Slayers is going to play on later.
Dude, there was it's funny you said that. There was a drunk guy in front of me when Slayer was playing, had his middle fingers up the whole time doing the same thing, like screaming Slayer. And I'm like, man, what is he so excited about? Like, Slayer is so overrated. Like, they're the trashiest, thrashy metal band that's been around forever, and they never get any better. The recording sound is just not good.
Well,
I don't like his guitar riffs and solos. Like, there's something about it.
I can't. I won't comment because as much as I've talked smack on whatever other fans I've talked on, like the Avenged Sevenfold, Slayer fans are even more sensitive. So
Yeah.
I'll just keep my opinion to myself on them.
Slayer's it's just one of those things. People think it's like some kind of landmark, like icon. They're like, if you like metal, especially old school metal, you have to be a Slayer fan. And I'm like, I'm not. I don't like them at all. I prefer Testament over Slayer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, even from that period, I'm more like, dude, Judas Priest, the Painkiller album.
Yeah.
That's
Priest
it.
and Iron Maiden. Like, I've seen Iron
Yeah.
Maiden. It was like 3 years ago, but and of course they were kind of older. But yeah, I like a lot of old school metal like that. Even Primal Fear.
Mhm.
They're like Judas Priest kind of.
I just saw Opeth, dude.
Opeth.
Yeah.
I've never seen them, dude.
That was awesome. At it was at the Anthem
They
in
play
DC.
They play any old heavy stuff with the growl because nowadays they're real like mellow.
Yeah, they played pretty much from like all different generations of their career.
Wow.
I actually went with Alex from Halford Voices.
Oh,
It
okay.
was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. But I'm gonna run to the restroom myself real quick.
All right, back. Yeah.
Works for me. I was always a hair metal kind of guy.
Hair metal?
I fucked with Motley Crue hard for a long time.
There's only like one song I like from Motley Crue, and that's Dr. Feelgood. I don't know why I liked it as a kid, and it just kind of stuck with me. I was never I didn't hate on hair metal, but I got into more, the closest thing to that would be power metal.
Yeah.
Like I said, like, you know what I mean? Like Iron Maiden, Priest, and then Blind Guardian, stuff he's talking about like that. But hair metal, I don't know. I never got into Poison, Quiet Riot, and Rat, and all those. Like I thought they were okay, but
I'm also a huge fan of like CCR.
oh
Black
yeah,
Sabbath,
I love CCR and Sabbath. Yeah.
But I'm also a huge fan of those oldies, you know, like Dion and the Belmonts, Ray Osborne.
Yeah.
No, Roy Osborne. My bad. I fucked that up. The Archies, Beach Boys.
Oh wow, Beach Boys,
Bro,
Yeah, that's like childhood for me.
Bro, I love that. Well, I grew up with my grandparents.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in one of them situations where, like, I lived at home with my parents, but I'm a community baby because I spend a lot of time with older generations. Like, I love old country.
Yeah.
I'm
the same way.
like so you know exactly what I mean.
Well, I don't know if you're going exactly as far back as me. Like, from when you say old country, I mean old, like Waylon Jennings old.
I love Waylon.
Like, I don't get into 80s and 90s country or nowadays. I don't like any country except super old.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but
Hank Williams.
yeah. I even listen to that the comedy type of country, like Wheeler Walker Jr.
I love Wheeler
Dude,
Walker
that dude's
Jr.
raunchy as hell. But he's good, man. I heard that he was actually trying to make serious music and wasn't getting anywhere with it, and they told him, like, fuck it, like, just go the other route. He went like the comedy route and made it, is what I heard.
So Wheeler Walker Jr. is actually a stand-up comedian.
Is he really?
Yeah, and he made it as a joke to make fun of country music.
He does good, man.
At least that's what I heard. See, both of us just heard two completely different things.
Yeah.
Dude, my favorite song by him is Eating Pussy and Kicking Ass.
He does have a lot of funny ones. He has that one that's called, was it Fighting Fucking Farting or something crazy like that? I don't know. He's off the wall, man.
That's like Stephen Lynch. Have you ever listened to Stephen Lynch?
Stephen Lynch. That's been years, dude.
First time I saw him live.
Oh, you saw him?
Yeah. I saw him live at Frostburg University. And the reason I got to see him live was because back in the day, I used to go to church a lot.
Yeah.
And my pastor, her husband, was like the activities director at Frostburg. And I went up there for their spring fling, or it's some festival they do in the spring, and Stephen Lynch played. So I'm in middle school, crashing at my pastor's house. And I'm outside the whole time, and because they were like, you can't go in here and listen to this. I'm like, but I want to. He sounds funny as fuck. So, and I'm sitting outside the auditorium, and Frostburg does not know how to fucking control their decibels. They fucking don't. So I'm outside the auditorium hearing everything, and it's great because I saw Lifehouse there.
Oh, okay.
And I've been to a lot of indoor big shows.
Yeah.
And my ears have never rang as bad as they did after watching Lifehouse at Frostburg.
Pretty loud. I think the loudest show I'd ever been to was the first time I saw Tool. And it was in a huge setup. It was I think it was in Wilkes-Barre, PA. But they made my ears ring in my head like pound for the rest of the night. I went home with a horrible migraine, but man, it was an awesome show.
I think the loudest show I've seen is I saw Upon a Burning Body up in Pennsylvania somewhere, and that was like, I just was like confused the rest of the night.
Really?
Yeah.
See, they played at Mayhem Fest out one day on one of the daytime like stages, but that was up in Scranton, PA. A couple times I went up to see that festival. I think that's where I saw them. Mm-hmm. They're a decent band. I haven't heard them in a while, but
life sucks and then you die.
Yeah.
One of the craziest, loudest shows I've been to outside of Lifehouse was I went and saw Excision at the Hampton Coliseum, and that was pretty fucking wild. If you all know who Excision is, like,
I know them.
Sounds familiar.
So his whole show, he's dubstep and rhythm on the EDM side, but his whole show is he's got like hundreds of thousands of dollars in lights and lasers. So his whole show is just an experience.
Yeah.
The Excision experience.
Well, dude, speaking of Excision, he's doing this whole initiative now where he's allowing different producers to submit like their work, and he's given 10 of them $10,000 just to like give them some kind of money to help them just focus on their music. And it's fucking, you don't see many artists doing that.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. Especially, people who are already successful, I think they see the people who aren't as like nipping at their heels or something. So for him to, I think that's cool.
Well, so like Excision started his own record label for the up and coming artists.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that like draws me more to EDM than like the metal scene a little bit. Well, I love metal, but like EDM draws me because you see a lot of these bigger artists that are purposely trying to put on the smaller guys because they realize that as a genre or as a movement or as a community, you can't grow if you don't help these smaller guys come up. You're going to eventually come to a point to where all the guys, people that are big, are no longer able to perform, and now you're okay. So who's the new up and comer?
Yep.
So then you're scrambling instead of building up, a new generation of people in the community.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of big bands trying to take the spotlight forever and just and they don't want anyone catching up to them. That's a weird, wrong way to go about all of that. I feel like all bands should support each other, like, no matter how big or small, you know what I mean? Like, help them get to that point.
I agree with that. I mean, it's easy to say from down here with the peons, but I definitely think as a community, you're going to be a lot more successful growing an audience as a team rather than everybody working disparately and apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's something you see in all communities too, though, because like one of the biggest problems with EDM is if you're an opener for a bigger act and you go out and you put on the best set you can, right? It's not a warm-up set. It's just you go out there and you give it your all. Some bigger producers / DJs will get mad at you for not trying to just warm up the crowd. You're out there just killing it, doing everything you can.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's so weird to me.
I don't really know about EDM shows or how, but like, I know if, especially in the past, if I was playing like after Koluna and they got everybody like moshing and everything, I take that as like, okay, it's time to step my game up. It's not like a personal attack. It's, this is what we're here to fucking do.
Right. I don't think you'd have any issues going on after anyone, honestly, because the shit you've been putting out is brutal.
Well, there was this show we played at RCM. I don't know if you guys remember that venue. It was Right Choice Ministries, actually. Back, this was like a decade ago, dude. But we played this show. I'm trying to remember that band. Honor Crest came through. And they were like a metalcore band, and they were like a little bit more successful than your normal local band. Like they were doing like some small tours and stuff. And they were like, well, you guys are the local band, so you guys can close up the show and we'll go before you. It was that day we fucking learned because they had the lights, they had the smoke and everything. And we were just like kids fresh out of high school, like, just still learning this stuff basically. Like we put on a pretty good show for what we were doing, but at the same time, like I remember after they went on, I was just like, I don't even want to play anymore. This sucks. But they were incredible. There was like no hard feelings. It's not like, oh, you guys, you suck for doing that. No, that was awesome. Like that taught me that, all right, that's what I need to be doing instead of, just settling for what I'm doing now. Like, and I think that mindset will help people go even further than, just being like, oh, they suck. I can't believe they stole my thunder or whatever, know? Yeah.
Well, dude, that's something in my mind that as a fan, I want to see everyone put on the best show that they can.
Right.
I don't give a shit about production as much as some other people do. But if you go up and you play killer riffs, you lay down awesome tracks, I'm going to support you through and through. Like some of the bands that I've like seen in the local area, that I'm like, I need their T-shirt.
Yeah.
Are not bands that have all the production. Granted, Halford Voices has a fucking dope light show.
Yes.
Fucking phenomenal light show.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember seeing them that show right there. February 4th. Whenever they played at Bad Habits.
No, I wasn't at that one.
But they blew a breaker at Bad Habits because of their lights. And it was the greatest fucking thing ever.
Holy shit. They played there so many times.
Well, this time that they just played, there's like whenever they were like added more
Oh, okay.
to their on stage light show, and they started and then they hit like their first song. You know how it starts off like pretty mellow, and then they just go straight into it. As soon as they went wolf and the lights started going, and they hit the fucking power going.
Oh,
and I was
poor
like,
Alex,
I was
man.
like, oh my god, it was really funny to watch. At the same time, I was just like, bro, that fucking blows.
Yeah,
like
that would take the wind out of my sails so fast, dude.
But I love those guys in Halford Voices.
Yeah, they have a very professional sound and just presence, like on stage, like you said, the lighting, all of it. It's just, you would have think they made it like to the big top when you watch them.
I think they're a band
level
that all of us local musicians can learn a lot from, especially how they're releasing their songs and things like that. Like I'm whenever they come out with something, I'm like paying attention. You know. What are they doing? Because they're seeing a lot of success right now. Yeah. So, and through the conversations I've had with like Stefan and Alex, they're like, yeah, come with us. You know, they're not like, we want to leave everybody behind. You know, they're willing to pass that information on. They're willing to help you. And actually, the next song I'm releasing after Bandkiller, Journey's End, features Alex from Halford Voices. So,
well, speaking of Halford Voices, they just opened up for Purveyor. They're opening up for Purveyor on Friday.
Yeah,
nice.
At Angel's Rock Bar.
We played with Purveyor once.
It's in Baltimore. It's in Power Plant Live.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I might have to
go
check that out.
The only reason I'm on their Facebook page right now, since we're talking about them, is because aren't they about to play like a pretty big fucking festival this summer?
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
I wanted to talk about it, but I can't fucking remember the name of the fucking festival.
I can't really either, but I know that they were playing on a big stage. I think Disturbed's playing on that stage.
Yeah. Wait, is it Blue Ridge?
No, it's not Blue Ridge. Even though, dude, Blue Ridge's lineup this year is pretty fucking loaded. Yeah. I mean, dude, you got ICP there, plus Twisted, plus Slipknot, plus Disturbed.
Yeah,
I even saw that they just announced Hinder.
Yeah, I remember that, man. Oh, Hinder.
Jesus Christ, how long ago did they announce they were playing this festival? Fuck.
Lamb of God's going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah, that's like the main reason I would go, dude.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen them in years.
Yeah, Lamb of God is by far one of my favorite bands.
I will say, though, I agree with a lot of people that their music, their last 4 or 5 albums have all kind of blended together. They're getting very repetitive. It's like they hit a certain sound and like they can't get away from it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like their most recent album, I felt like was definitely better than the one before that.
The self-titled one that just came out.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to remember the name of that song, New Millennium Destruction or something like that. That song is like really awesome. I really love that. They have that guitar sound, and like Bandkiller is. I mean, I would hope people listen to that and go like, damn, this guy listens to Lamb of God, because that's like the main influence for this song. So they just have that like momentum that I love. Every song is just
oh yeah,
I just love that stuff so much. It's so percussive and aggressive. That's what I really love about music right there.
They are really good. I will say like the peak for Lamb of God for me is the Wrath album, 2008. Yep. After that's
where I got into it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wrath, dude. What's that song? The down, 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 down.
That's is that Bad Seeds or whatever?
Yeah,
something like that.
Mm-hmm. Dead Seeds.
Dead Seeds. Is that what it is? It's been so long since I've heard that, dude.
That song's awesome.
I know what you're talking about.
So many, and Resolution, I really do like. I think that one gets kind of shit on by the community, but it's a good album. Visitation is a really cool song.
I'd have to hear it again. It's been years. I haven't really listened to that album since it came out.
Actually, what's the song?
Ghost Walker, is that what's on it?
Yeah, that's the single from it. Is it 6 Feet Under? Is that the name of the song? There's a song with 6 in the title, and that song is really freaking good. That's one of my favorite Lamb of God songs.
I thought you were getting ready to talk about the band 6 Feet Under. I'm like, man.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about random bands from, the 2010s all day, dude. Let's go ahead and bring Parkway Drive into this.
Parkway Drive. Man. I don't know. That's another band I haven't heard in so long. Are they?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's sad.
Yeah, didn't they get... I used to compare them to Trivium in a sense of, like, the route they've gone, like, getting more commercialized and, like...
Yeah.
They just changed their sound up.
I mean, Horizons is just a flawless album from start to finish.
Yep.
And I wish that we could get that every time, but
Dude,
I understand.
Parkway Drive's one of them bands I wish I would have found out about sooner.
Yeah.
Did I bring this up the last time we talked? How I found out about Parkway Drive is I had been playing Rock Band, Guitar Hero, and Before I Forget was on that by Slipknot, and I went to FYE to go buy the album because I was like, oh, I've never heard anything like this. I want to, check out this band Slipknot, and I went there, and there was this guy in the metal section at the same time, and I'm like looking through the Slipknot CDs, and finally I find Iowa. And I've got that in my hand, and he walks over and he pulls the album out of my hand, and he puts the first Parkway Drive album into it. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, check this shit out. So I bought that instead. And that's how I got into Parkway Drive. Just some random dude pulled Slipknot out of my hand. 14-year-old Anthony, who earned this money with his own hard work. And this guy was like, no, you need to listen to this. This'll wet your whistle.
Yeah. See, me at that age, I would have been like, get the Slipknot. Get to Iowa. Parkway was cool when I discovered them later on, but they never compared to Slipknot.
I didn't find out about Parkway until like 2 years ago.
Really?
Maybe 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found out because my boy Mike McCumbee turned them on Pandora, and I was like, oh, these guys ain't bad.
Yeah.
That's also how I found out about the Browning, too.
Yeah.
What albums have you listened to? Have you like explored their catalog? Or
I'm gonna be honest with you, 9 times out of 10, if I'm listening to Parkway Drive, I'm slapping on Pandora and just hitting shuffle.
Right.
I don't pay attention to albums. I honestly don't pay attention to albums anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because I can't remember the last time I added a song to my playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would recommend, if you got the time, just put on Horizons. Just start to finish. It is incredible.
Do you think he'd like Blind Guardian?
He might. Yeah, I think he's like eclectic enough in his music taste that he would like that. I mean, if you like bands that are like, and the dragons and the fire, that kind of stuff, then you'll like Blind Guardian.
Yeah.
Or if you ever played Robot Unicorn Attack, because that was, their one song was on that. Did you ever play that? Do you remember Toonami? Robot Unicorn Attack? Adult Swim used to have, like, on their website, you could play like flash games on their website, and they had this really like fucking trippy game called Robot Unicorn Attack, and it is literally exactly that. Like, you would run around and you were like this robot unicorn, and you had like superpowers and like kill people and shit. But Blind Guardian's song Battlefield was like the main like battle theme for the game, so it was like, on the battlefield we rock, It's like, this shit is fucking crazy.
I've always thought of them as like Hobbit metal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
they're
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, they're like super like D&D, The Hobbit, Wheel of Time. Like, if you're into it, or the Dark Tower, like if you're into any of those book series and you want music directly inspired by that, boom, Blind Guardian, you're welcome. We'll take our $5 paycheck, David and I, later.
The weird thing is, I'm not into any of the stuff that inspires their music. It's just more of like, I think they're really good musicians, and I like the dude's voice. The vocals are way different than anything I've heard.
Yeah.
And I like a lot of power metal, so it just fits.
Yeah. I mean, he is freaking awesome. Even if you're not into power metal, that might be the one power metal band that you can like fuck with, because they're I mean, there's a few that I like I like Stratovarius and like obviously Painkiller, Judas Priest, I think is like maybe one of like, you know, that's like the most commercial power metal album. But that band just like really scratches an itch for me that other power metal bands can't. Like it's so
they stand out.
Yeah, in my opinion, for sure. It's cool. You should check it out. Blind Guardian. Just different. Don't blame me if you don't like it. That's on you.
It's good stuff though.
They owe you all a commission check now.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah.
No, but well, guys, the old time is ticking away.
Yeah, I know.
We are almost at 2 hours.
We have rambled on, and I tried to paint the picture, you know, from point A to point B to connect these random disparate thoughts. And at the time, I thought I did a good job, but I have nothing to explain the nonsense that we have talked for the last hour, so I apologize.
Last hour, almost 2 hours.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it went from our Bandkiller talk to serial murders to Blind Guardian.
Yeah, so
ow.
If you haven't already, please check out Koluna.
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely check out Koluna.
On all streaming platforms, I assume.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just watch out seeing him live. David might be sick.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I might sneeze in your face. Yeah.
And, Bandkiller on all streaming platforms by the time this is out. So check it out, featuring David Pezzanite. Yeah. And you can find me on Instagram at Anthony Tardino Music or Facebook, Anthony Tardino.
Or YouTube at Anthony Tardino Music.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good spot.
Yep.
Where all can they find Koluna at?
As far as like streaming,
YouTube.
I mean, yeah, you got Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. I mean, we actually Googled it a while back after we got into DistroKid and did all that, and you know, Chris and I were sitting there looking at other streaming services I've never even heard of.
Deezer.
Yeah, crazy stuff. I'm like, they're like Kluna's on that. I'm like, I have no idea. I don't even fuck with that, but just about anywhere really. I mean,
where can they find you all on the socials?
We have a Facebook and Instagram page for right now.
You need that TikTok, bro.
Need that TikTok.
I ain't fucking with TikTok. Even that makes me feel like, damn, I'm old. I'm never downloading that app.
Yeah, I'm not a TikToker.
Yeah.
But with that being said, everybody here soon in the next month. In the next month, June 2nd through June 5th, go check out 333 Music and Arts Festival. It's being headlined by Afro Man, Nappy Roots, Ifkis Pinecone, and DJ Perspective. Go check it out. It's down in Ivanhoe, Virginia. We actually have an artist coming on in a couple of weeks that's playing that festival, Ant. It's a hip-hop and EDM festival. If you could, go check that out. Tickets are on sale now. I'm pretty sure you can find them in Eventbrite, I think. Really shitty plug, I know. But you can find the event on Facebook. Also, check out 333 Record Label. That's the company that's putting on the festival. And then if you want to, go check us out on all socials. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Check out our YouTube channel at The Wilson King Podcast. And also check out our website at www.thewilsonkingpodcast. And you can also go check us out on Buy Me a Coffee. Donate if you want. If you don't want to, no biggie. We're going to continue producing the show if you donate or not. But whatever you want to do. With that being said, everybody have a great rest of your day. Be safe. Be responsible. Don't drink and drive. Peace. All right, we're off.
Thanks again, man.
Yeah.
That was